Hey, it's the Cindy Toy Show, and we are back for the second half. You're listening on 92.7 FM and 95.3 FM HD4. I'm about to turn Facebook on so that we are live streaming on Facebook as well. We're live streaming on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. And we'll be here on Facebook, and I'm about to take a call. Hold on one second here. This is Cindy on the Cindy's Toy Show. You are live.
Hello, Cindy. Mike to see you live at the Community Center, Community Kitchen.
Hey, Mike.
Chattanooga. We're here with Summer Cares, who collected thousands of items. I'm not exaggerating. Thousands of items as this month. It was a big one on Thanksgiving, a big one here. This for Christmas. Hundreds of shipments have got to be handed down. Homeless veterans and homeless in general. They're down on Chattanooga this year. For about a half hour also, talking for the city for the homeless veterans in downtown Chattanooga. Where Summer Cares the best. Like that live. Wish you were here.
I wish I was there too. That's awesome. Thank you for being there, Mike.
Okay. It's 12:30. So live is 95.4, 92.7 FM.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mike, for that live remote from the Community Kitchen. And that's something we're going to talk about a little bit here on the air today. And I don't know what's happening. I think you can see us on Facebook, but I'm looking at a black screen. So
yeah,
I don't...
they can see us. It's just one of those Facebook things.
Okay, one of those Facebook things is going on. But again, we are live streaming on YouTube and Facebook. We're on TuneIn Radio. That's an awesome app you can download and get Nooga Radio anywhere, anytime, as well as Shoutcast. And I am Cindy. And Cindy's choice is to make a positive impact in our community. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. It is my absolute passion to support community initiatives and special focus on cultivating community collaboration. And this radio station is a great example of that in supporting my platform.
We like to think so anyway.
Yes. And you're hearing from Russell Stroud right there. He's our news manager, and he's agreed to join me on the show today.
Reluctantly.
Well, and he helped me get started. You were on my first show.
I was, yeah.
Trying to get used to this platform and start talking about things that are really kind of difficult to talk about.
Yeah.
But before we jump in, I do want to give a quick shout out to our awesome sponsor, Chicken Salad Chick. Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. Awesome catering option, especially in the holidays, with pumpkin cheesecake, turkey cranberry sandwiches, and they've got cheese balls. There's salads. There's 12 variations of chicken salad. There's just so many different things to choose from. Absolutely something for everyone, including pimento cheese and spicy pimento cheese. I could go on and on about Chicken Salad Chick. Check them out at Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. And let's just jump in. We just heard from Mike. They're down at the Community Kitchen today. Mm-hmm. And the Summer Cares, again, everyone, I'm here with Russell Stroud, our news manager here at Nooga Radio. Summer Cares has been a campaign that's been going on for some months. We did this about a month ago.
Yeah, back in November.
Yes, and it was great. There was about 70 veterans that participated.
I'd say about that number. Yeah, it was big. I was there. It was a really interesting event.
Wow, and I hate not being there today, but I'm loving hearing there's about 150 people there today. Huge number, and apparently they have the mayor making a speech there and everything. I mean, it's really blown up just in a month. Yes, I love that. Hey, the power radio.
Yes,
and exactly. So it's awesome that Mayor Burke is down there and just getting that much more attention for a much-needed cause. Veterans are a passion of mine. I've actually gathered some sponsorship in 2018. I hope to be launching a show honoring heroes and helpers. And I had Captain Gibbons on the first half of the show.
Yeah.
Had Police Chief Roddy on. I've had Lieutenant Garrett on. I've had Mickey McCamish, Bill Raines, all these really like Medal of Honor veterans and so forth. I love honoring heroes, and I believe it's more important than ever that people understand what a hero really is and the character and integrity it takes to be a hero. And that's what we need to cultivate in our culture.
Right.
So I love having that opportunity. So that's what what I love about naming something Cindy's Choice is my platform is my choice. So you never know what you're going to get when you tune into Cindy's Choice. Because today we're actually going to talk a little bit about homelessness and my homeless experience, which I mention on here on and off, to get braver about talking about it. Because if I don't, there's no purpose in what I experienced. And Russell's so brave to come on with me. He's always, like I said, he came on my first couple of shows, and I was just really surprised. He's one of my favorite millennials because he's so smart, and he always has such good responses and good questions. And you're a good friend. You know, so it's like, if I'm going to do something that's brave, yeah, it's good to have you on with me. And again, that's a lot because the whole Nooga Radio family, the owner of the station, you're recognizing not just, oh, she's got a good story. Oh, this girl is determined to make something happen. He understood that there was purpose in my experience and that it empowered me to really make a difference for small businesses in our community and for people in general. The reason most people go homeless is they do not have a strong network of support.
Yeah.
And we don't like to talk about it because you just can't stereotype homelessness. I'm telling you, there's all kinds of reasons. Not everyone chooses it. There is a percentage of the population that's a lifestyle they're choosing. There is a criminal element there as well, as with everything. But there are a lot of people like me. There's a lot of people that live paycheck to paycheck, or they have health issues, as in my case, that cause them to get to a place where they can't take care of themselves for a time. And if they don't have a healthy network of support, you can very well end up homeless. And there's different definitions of homeless. I was actually, when I say on the streets, I did have my truck to sleep in, but it's a very dangerous situation.
Well, yeah, that's not a place anyone wants to be.
Exactly. And it's not, you really can't go hide out in an isolated place. That's more dangerous than being too evident. That one of the worst problems when I first faced homelessness was I was too afraid to go to the community kitchen and get help because I didn't want the other homeless people to know that I was homeless because I had served in inner city homeless ministries in Houston, Texas. And I understood there was a criminal element, but I understood also there were plenty of people out there that wanted and needed help, and I wanted to reach them. So knowing that, it was really hard for me, but at some point I got pretty hungry. And
it happens eventually, yeah.
And that's what people don't understand about how raw my experience was, is it's really hard for me to talk about, and that's why I have to start talking about it, because I don't know how to explain it and make people understand that, facing something like that and the bravery it took to go ahead and face my demons on the street rather than make another bad choice. And my number one conversation with God on the streets, which brings up the fact when you do see homeless people talking to themselves, going down the street, don't judge. Don't judge, because that was me at times. You do a lot of praying when you're on the streets. And that was me talking to God. And I told him, I said, God, you know what? I'd much rather be experiencing what I am right now alone on the streets with Jesus than to ever be in the care or subjected to anyone that doesn't have my best interest in mind.
Right.
And that, I've shared a bit of my story. There was a story in the Pulse. You can look it up, Faith It Till You Make It, in the Pulse last week.
I read that article. Very, very interesting. Very good.
Yes, and they were limited. The writer, Jessica Manning, did a great job with 500 words. But I had a rough childhood. I was on my own at a very early age, and even my own sister told me recently, she's like, Cindy, I would have never known that you had any issues or any problems, because it made me very determined. It made me very resourceful, very independent. I have a great perspective. I'm very positive. So I didn't even know there was a broken little child inside. And going homeless for me helped me face that very deeply rooted demon where I know I'm not abandoned.
Yeah.
When you're following, I got to get spiritual. When you're following God and He leads you there, there's a purpose in it. And there's something in you that needs to be dealt with. And it got dealt with in me because it empowered me to, I can face anything now. So now I'm prepared to build something bigger than me. And it's empowered me to really help starting with a community right here that's already based in collaboration and strong networks. There's a lot of people like me, Russell. There's a lot of people. I mean, you're very blessed to come from a family that loves you and supports you. It's that's very foreign to me. And it's a parental love teaches you about God's love.
Mm-hmm.
So not having that, it's confusing because it wasn't apparent to anyone. I was a very confident, good attitude, very capable, wonderful work ethic, always excelled at everything I did. But there were personal issues, overachieving, OCD, internalizing everything, denial. There were so many internal issues that were causing me to make bad choices.
Well, something I've noticed a lot when I look at, when I've read about various different cases like yours, just because you do that in this business, a lot of the time people don't get the help that they could get because a lot of the time they don't see themselves to do that. A lot of the time I see about where it's like, oh, I was on the street, I was feeling terrible, all these different, personal things were going on. And at any point during that, they could have gotten the help that they needed, but either didn't think to, or, were sometimes, in some cases, not yours, but in some cases were too prideful. That happens too.
Right.
But, it's a lot of the time it's just recognition that you can do something about the situation that you're in. Not everyone can, I'm not saying that, but in a lot of cases, there are people who really could pull themselves up by their own bootstraps and get it going.
Wow. See, this is what I love about you, Russell. You're so insightful. You just hit on a key issue where I want to help people. I am blessed with creativity. I am blessed with vision and being able to strategize and see ways to make things happen. And I literally networked my way off the streets. There wasn't an organization. Now, I got fed at the community kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I got food stamps at the community kitchen, which amounted to about $7 a day. So that got you your protein. But I still needed to show up twice a day at the community kitchen to get enough to eat.
Yeah.
There were medical services. There were things that helped me survive. But literally getting off the streets was me networking, finding, testing safe areas, and networking my way off the streets.
Well, and it's something worth remembering too, surviving is often not enough. Surviving, especially in the modern world, surviving is the bare minimum.
But you've hit on something so key with what I'm trying to do is I was on the streets ultimately, because I got sick. And it was a blessing to me because that's kind of what it took to slow me down, honestly, and really pay attention and not keep getting in my own way. But what it did when I got so sick that I could not take care of myself and I did not have that healthy network of support, it took me back to my childhood where I was in perpetual danger all the time. I wasn't protected, couldn't take care of myself. And it left me subjected to predators. So it allowed me to kind of face that again, but this time go through it with a different perspective because this time I knew God. I knew there was purpose in it. I knew I wasn't alone. And even though it felt alone, I knew better. I go, no, I'm not alone. God doesn't lead you someplace that he's not going to teach you something and grow you to get where he's trying to get you to go, which is a good place.
Right.
So with that understanding, it was a whole different kind of way to revisit that.
Yeah, and I've read before that, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. It may seem that way a lot of the time, but he doesn't give you more than you can handle ultimately.
Well, I think he does.
Well, more than you can handle without him. Right.
Thank you. That's it. You can't handle it without him. And I've got big things to do. I really am going to make an impact. So I needed to go through some big stuff and get those inner demons dealt with. I need healing is what it is. And transformation. It's scientific that our brains can be changed. And my brain had been conditioned with some wrong thinking. And it took some time to unprocess that and then reprocess with good information and good truth to help me face things and get someplace and not keep repeating cycles because we all know what repeating cycles is.
Yeah, everyone falls into them.
But I want to go back to what you said about, what were you saying about people making, not realizing
they can help themselves a lot of the time.
Exactly. And I've confused people my whole life because I had to take responsibility for myself at such an early age. I'm always so overly confident and prideful that I can do this. I can make this happen. I can work this out. And I had to kind of reach the end of myself and literally get to some situations that I couldn't fix to help me learn that dependency on God and help humble me. And to me now, more than ever, I realize the bravery and the strength that humility takes.
Yeah.
I thought I was brave before, hang glider pilot, excelling in fields with men like that were twice my age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had this very competitive and very, like I said, I would top out at everything I did. And okay, I'd have to go to the next thing. I've done what I can do here, and not understanding what is my deal. But now I understand that a lot of that was pushed by pride. And I love all the points that you're hitting on with that. But again, I do want to remind you, you are listening to the Cindy's Choice Show on 92.7 FM and 95.3 FM HD4. Russell Stroud, our news manager, has joined me today. We've had some live remotes from the community kitchen where our guy on the spot, Mike, has reported that there's about 150 people there today.
Yeah.
As the Summer Cares campaign, which has been very well promoted on Nooga Radio for the last couple of months.
Yeah, about 2-3 months now. It's
culminated today where they're handing out boxes that are full of much needed supplies.
Basic necessities for the most part, yeah. They've got toothbrushes, toothpaste, shampoo, towels, blankets, all that you could want. Well, not all that you could want, but some of the things that you could want. One of the things, Christy was mentioning this before, that Summer's mom was mentioning this before on David Tulis' show, who's on from 9 to 11 every morning. She was talking about how a lot of the time, something that she had noticed is that a lot of the homeless veterans were asking for sanitary wipes, like the Clorox wipes, just for basic cleaning necessities. It's something portable you can carry around, you just have it on you. So they bought a lot of those, and they put a lot of those into the shoe boxes. So those are now in there more than they were before. I think they have some lotions and things for dry skin, which, is something that we take for granted. We could just go to the store and buy some, but if you don't have that, you take it for granted. A lot of things that we take for granted because we can just go out and buy them.
Yes, and I'm getting brave today,
okay.
Russell. I'm going to share. That is one of your biggest challenges on the street. I did not want to take a shower at the community kitchen.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine.
Sorry, that wasn't comfortable to me. And so it was getting creative with finding ways to stay clean. That was one of my goals every day. Find a place to eat, find a place to get cleaned up, and find Wi-Fi. Because my phone was off, but I could find Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And that was a major blessing. But I actually found a public restroom with a spigot high enough where I could actually get my head under it and wash my hair. And I'll never forget that day, Russell, because it's like you go in about 3 days without washing your hair. Because I didn't look homeless. So that worked to my benefit. I didn't look like a homeless person. Mm-hmm. Well, that was because I found a place to wash my hair. And and I'd be real creative. I'd watch it and watch when the slow time was. Mm-hmm. I only had somebody walk in on me one time when I was washing my hair in a public restroom. But it was a big day for me. It was like, okay, I was joyous because I could get my hair washed.
It's such a basic thing that we all think, we take for granted. But for, someone like in your situation where you were, that's a huge deal.
Yes, it's big. But again, there was a positive aspect of it in that the appreciation you do have. I was sharing with Captain Gibbons that I kind of get why some people, it's a very simple, non-stressful, you've got a hard life either way you go. Mm-hmm. But I understand why some people ultimately just choose no responsibility and just focus on something to eat, some place to sleep, and a place to get cleaned up every day.
Well, and the only responsibility they have is to themselves at that point.
Exactly.
They're only taking care of them.
And it's like you can be a hermit amongst people, mm-hmm. so that you're not really alone, but you can just, I get it. I understand why some people ultimately just go ahead and make that choice. Life kind of gets to be too much to manage.
Yeah.
And that's what they can manage.
Well, and getting back to Summer for a second, she's handling the situation over at the community kitchen on East 11th Street. You can go visit if you want. You in Radioland can go out and visit East 11th Street, the community kitchen. Check out Santa's going to be there. Summer's there. Confederate Mike is there.
How long are they there?
They're there until 12:30.
Get by there. And Russell, the time has just gone by way too fast.
It flew by. I didn't realize how little time we had.
I'm going to ask you to hang with me more. I forgot how great it is to be on the radio with you. I'm going to have a millennial show. I really am. I've gathered my millennials, and it's a positive millennial show. I know some great millennials, and I want to have like a whole bunch on with me one day. But thank you, listener, for joining us. Thank you, for allowing me to be brave today and start sharing a little bit more about my story, because if I don't share it, there is no purpose in what I've experienced. And it's going to take me a while to figure out really how to communicate that purpose and help people understand what I'm about. Thank you, Russell, and thank you, listener. That's a wrap.